This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
We're following breaking news right now out of North St. Louis. Police have shot and killed an armed juvenile following a chase involving a stolen car. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
I'm Kelly Jackson. This happened just in the last few hours. We are told several juveniles were in that stolen car. It happened near Whittier Street and Maffitt Avenue. That is in the Ville neighborhood. Holden Karicki joins us live from St. Louis Police Headquarters with new information on what led to the shooting. Holden.
Well, Kelly, Mike, according to SLMPD, this whole incident started around 1 o'clock in the Baden neighborhood when officers with the anti-crime task force noticed an SUV that had been stolen out of St. Louis County over a week ago. And according to investigators, members of the task force followed that SUV to a home in North St. Louis and deployed stop strips without turning on their sirens while the suspects were picking up another teen. After their tires were punctured, two juveniles, both of which were armed, jumped out of the SUV near Whittier and St. Louis Avenue. That's when police say one of them pointed a gun at officers who returned fire, killing him. The second person who ran was arrested after falling down. A third suspect stayed inside the car and complied with officers. I asked why stop strips were deployed before members of the anti-crime task force turned on their sirens on their unmarked car.
Spiking a car before you activate your lights and siren actually slows down the ability from them to become involved in a high-speed fleeing and endangering other individuals who are obeying traffic laws. So we tried to spike them in an attempt to disable the vehicle so that it cannot drive at high speeds.
Police say they recovered 2 guns and what are believed to be narcotics from the suspects at the scene. I'm told the officer involved in that shooting is 40 years old and has been on the force for 16 years. Reporting live outside of police headquarters, Holden Karicki, 5 on your side.
Also breaking tonight, a deadly crash in North St. Louis, which also involved a stolen car.
This was just a few hours ago near Goodfellow and Page. That's near the West End and Hamilton Heights neighborhoods. Our Robert Townsend joins us live from that area right now with what we've learned about all this. Robert.
Hey Mike, the chaotic scene in this north side neighborhood is over. As I step back, you can see one police officer still out here, apparently waiting on a crew to come and clean up all the mess and broken off car parts left behind in the street after that crash that happened here this afternoon. Here's what I can tell you. Police tell us around 12:30, a man and a teenage male were riding in a white stolen car and sped down Page Boulevard. Now, moments later, police say the two suspects crashed into a black Lexus. The driver in the stolen car was killed. Again, investigators say the passenger, a teenager from St. Anne, was taken into custody and treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Now, just minutes ago, I talked to a neighbor who told me the 16-year-old boy's father actually arrived here on scene, and then police apparently released the boy to his father. Now, police say the man and child in the other car also suffered non-life-threatening injuries. And the good news, they are expected to be okay. Here's more from police.
When it saw the spike strips, it immediately stopped, backed up, almost striking the officers, and then jumped the curb and went through a vacant yard or lot and came out on the other street.
Again, right now, investigators have not told us any more. As soon as we do learn more about what happened here, we'll definitely pass it on. Live in North City, I'm Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
One teen is dead. Several others are in the hospital after a crash in South St. Louis. It happened last night near River de Pere and Old English Road. Police say several teens were in a car when it went off the road, hit a tree, then caught fire. A 15-year-old boy died. 3 other boys are in the hospital in critical condition. The 19-year-old driver is expected to survive. They are still investigating the crash.
New details tonight on the Mizzou student whose body was found in a river near Nashville earlier this year. An autopsy shows Riley Strain died from drowning and intoxication. His blood alcohol level was .228. That's nearly 3 times the legal limit to drive. Strain disappeared in March after being kicked out of a bar. Surveillance video showed him stumbling as he walked around Nashville. His body was found weeks later in the river.
Here's a live look outside. Our hot streak is going to get even hotter.
Some of us could see triple-digit temperatures by the end of the week, but for what we're seeing out there right now, which isn't too bad, let's toss it over to meteorologist Jim Castillo.
Yes, and what we mean by that is, this cloud cover came in today and maybe even a light shower there in the distance over Jefferson County, but most of us staying dry. And yes, today we actually did not hit 90 in St. Louis. It was 88. And that's because of that added cloud cover, but it's very humid and really can't rule out a quick sprinkle. You can see that. I'll zoom in a little bit all the way from Festus to around Belleville and St. Jacob. Most of this is kind of drying up as it moves to the north. So 85 right now, feels like 87. So that humidity is still in play here. And yes, tomorrow we're going to resume those 90s and get close to 100 by the end of the week, if not a couple of days, right about 100. More on that coming up in Maine weather. Current temperatures, we're in the 80s right now, a couple of spots in the low 80s. But watching that gulf of moisture and then the high pressure just to the east of us, but that Gulf of Mexico moisture moving into the area. We'll talk more about our rain chances coming up in just a bit.
You can find cooling centers in the St. Louis area by texting the word heat to 314-425-5355. Right now, thousands of American athletes are trying to qualify for the Olympics in Paris. One of them is a pole vaulter from South St. Louis County.
Tonight, there is an effort to help her coach get to the trials to cheer her on. 5 News' Annie Krall is here with more.
Mike and Kelly, University of Kansas freshman Mason Miner-Sagan is only 19 years old, and she's already qualified for the Olympic trials next week in Eugene, Oregon. But she isn't on this athletic journey alone, of course. Veteran track and field coach Vince Bingham has been mentoring Mason since she was at Oakville High School. But he's been in and out of the hospital over the last few years and may not be able to see Mason compete in those trials. So the Jefferson County Jets Track Club has set up a GoFundMe for Bingham. The goal is to raise enough money for him to be there for when Mason takes the biggest leap of her career. This past Father's Day, Mason called Bingham to break the news to him that she qualified for the Olympic trials. He says it was the greatest moment of his life.
She said, I got a letter, I made Olympic trials, and I immediately start crying. She starts crying, and we're trying to talk to each other, we're crying, and she says, it wasn't for you. And then I said, no, you did it.
And we're happy to report just hours ago, the Jefferson County Jets Track Club reached their goal of raising $4,000 for that trip. But you can still donate by going to KSTK.com and looking for this story in the As Seen on TV section.
And a local athlete is closer to becoming an Olympian at the Summer Games in Paris. Today, Baldwin native Tyler Downs finished first in the men's synchronized 3-meter springboard preliminary at the trials. He won by less than 0.2 of a second. The final is tonight. He will also compete in another springboard event on Friday.
Today, we also heard from another athlete aiming for the Olympics. Margot O'Meara is competing in the women's 3-meter springboard Thursday. She went to Westminster Christian Academy in Town and Country and goes to Duke University. And we caught up with her a few hours ago.
I'm coming off of an injury. I had 2 shoulder surgeries last year. So I'm just really excited to be competing again. It's been a long journey and tough, but I think I'm back to where I need to be, and I'm really looking forward to it.
You can watch the games here on 5 on Your Side starting July 26th. And for more on Olympics, just text the word Paris to 314-425-5355.
A new immigration plan from the president. The new policy protecting thousands who are undocumented.
Does skin tone determine your risk for skin cancer? Tonight we verify misconceptions about the disease.